Pre-filming is weird. It feels like these should all go up right now. Hello YouTube, it's me again, Jess from Nose in a Book. Alright guys, so today I'm going to be filming my September book haul for you. I am very excited to show you all the books that I picked up somehow this month. I can't believe I accumulated this stack that I did because I was like, don't buy as many books, Jessica. You can't afford as many books, Jessica. Stop buying books, Jessica. That never works. Never works. So I have quite a big stack for you. Some of them I've read, some of them I haven't. But most of them I got for a really good deal, either on clearance at Half Price Bookstore or at Goodwill. So I will let you guys know what the prices were if I still have the price tags on them. Without further ado, my September book haul. So the first book that I wanted to show you in my haul is Moon Boy by Chris O'Dowd and Nick V. Murphy. This book was great. I've read this before. Moon Boy, The Blunder Years. This follows two characters, one a boy and one his imaginary friend, and all of their adventures. And it is from the perspective of the imaginary friend. It's wonderful. This is a middle grade book, and there is some cursing actually in here, but I wasn't turned off by that. It's like done weirdly tastefully. It's very good. I really enjoy it. And Chris O'Dowd, I am in love with the show IT Crowd, which is a British comedy, and Chris O'Dowd is one of my favorite characters in the show, Roy, and it's wonderful. So you guys should both check out this book and also check out IT Crowd, because IT Crowd is the best show ever. Okay, that's probably not the best show ever, but it's like really good. The next book that I picked up also from Half Price Books clearance section is The Dragonfly Pool. Look at this holographic cover. Ooh, and I'm making myself dizzy. By Eva Ibbotson. I really love Eva Ibbotson as an author. Most of the ones I have read of hers have been YA, like historical romances, and this is, I think, a middle grade historical fiction, and it looks wonderful. The cover is absolutely stunning, and I got it for $1 at Half Price Books, and I am very excited to read it. I believe it's set during World War II or right before World War II, and it follows our main character, I'm trying to remember her name right now, Tally. It follows our main character, Tally, who ends up at this boarding school, and she's hesitant to go, but then when she arrives there, she finds it to be a very freeing experience because they're very accepting and loving towards her, and then, you know, goes on from there. I think she meets a prince. I think it's more about friendship than anything else, and it seems really sweet. So I can't wait to eventually read this. I love Eva Ibbotson's writing style. It's absolutely beautiful, and again, very memorable quotes, and it's just lovely. So some of these books here I got from Goodwill and some from Half Price Books. So this one is one I got from Goodwill, and again, it still has the receipt in there. This one was only $1.49, and it is The Princess by Lori Wick. Now, I have actually not read any Lori Wick before, but I do have quite a few of her books because they were given to me, and she is actually like a Christian romancy author, and I do enjoy the Christian romances quite often. Sometimes they're a little bit too cheesy, but I haven't read any of hers yet, so I have no idea. This premise just sounded really good to me when I was reading the back of it. So this follows our main character, Shelby, and somehow, I don't know what time period it's set in, but she's actually a princess. I don't know if it's more modern day or if it's like how long ago it was. I don't think it's medieval, but it might be medieval. And she's a princess, and she has to marry this prince, but the prince has been married previously, and he was very in love with his wife, but she had passed away. And so she marries this prince, but she's not sure if they're ever going to actually have a love connection or not. But just the little things, little bits and pieces I was looking at, like her writing style, it looked really beautiful, and the cover is really beautiful, and the story just sounded intriguing, and I just really want to read it. This This one was only $1.49, so even if I don't like it, it can't be a loss. The next book that I also got from Goodwill is The Black Cauldron by Lloyd Alexander. This is the second book in his series that I forget the name of the actual series now. The Chronicles of Prydian, that's what it's called. But I have the first book already, which I got from Half Price Books, I think, and I haven't read it. It's a middle grade fantasy, and there's actually a Disney movie based off The Black Cauldron. I've heard it's pretty dark, but I definitely want to check it out and see if I enjoy it. It did win the Newbery Honor Award, so it sounds good. This book was only 99 cents at Goodwill, plus my first book matches the covers, so that's always a plus. So the next book that I picked up from Goodwill as well is the Bartimaeus Trilogy Book 1, The Amulet of Samarkand by Jonathan Stroud. Now, I think I've heard of this series before, but this book, for the hardcover, this beautiful cover, was only $2. This follows a magician's apprentice named Nathaniel, and Nathaniel decides to master this spell, and he ends up releasing a genie, but he can't control the genie, and I don't know what happens after that. So I'm very excited to start the series at some point. I'm trying not to start any new series for a little while, but I just couldn't pass up this deal for this beautiful hardcover book that sounded really good. And Goodwill. I have so many books on my TBR. This next book I'm super excited to pick up. I've heard mixed reviews on it, and most of them have been negative. So I guess that's not really mixed, that's negative reviews. But I couldn't help it. I needed to pick it up anyways. I really wanted to read it, and I just need to see for myself if I might like it. This book is Unhooked by Lisa Maxwell, and I got a pretty hardcover of it. This is a Peter Pan retelling. I believe the main character gets like kidnapped and taken to Neverland, and there's pirates, obviously, hopefully by the picture of the ship on the cover, and Peter Pan is there, but I want to say that Hook may or may not be the main character, and Peter Pan may or may not be evil, and I'm very intrigued. So, even if this ends up being a terrible book, I had to get it because it was only $3.29, and I think actually this was the day that was half off because the green tags were half off, so I didn't get it for that much money, and it's a pretty hardcover, so if I do like it, I have a pretty hardcover of it. But if not, I didn't spend that much money on it, and I love Peter Pan. The next one that I also got from Goodwill is The Heart of Betrayal, which is part of the Remnant Chronicles by Marie E. Pearson. This is the second book in like the Kiss of Deception books. Like I said, the Remnant Chronicles, but the Kiss of Deception is the first book. That one follows the main character, whom I don't know the name of, and she's like supposed to marry a prince, but she decides to run away, and then like they send an assassin after her to kill her, and then she ends up running into both the prince and the assassin, and we're not really sure who is who. And I've heard great things about the series. This is the second book in the series, and I actually think I have the first book, but I couldn't remember. But I knew I didn't have the second book, so I'm excited to eventually pick the series up when I have some more time to get into a new series. I couldn't pass up this pretty hardcover for $3.29, and again, I think this was that day that it was half off for the green ones. So yeah. These next two are classics, and I got them at Half Price Books, and these were not as cheap as some of the other ones I got, but I could not pass them up because I love the covers of them. And that is, the first one is Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. I love the book Black Beauty, and this one was $4, and it's this really beautiful like leather-bound cover with the beautiful horses there, and then it has these lovely illustrations on the back and on the front. This is part of the Children's Classics Library edition, and like it even has like these beautiful end pages and beautiful lovely illustrations on the inside. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and I've read it before, I think twice before, and I love the story. It's very like heart-wrenching, but it's also beautiful, and it's one of my favorites. I love this book, and it's not abridged or anything. It has the deckled edges. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I couldn't pass it up. And that being said, because this was part of that series, and this was only $4, but I also got King Arthur and His Knights by Sir James Knowles, illustrated by Louis Reed, and this one was $7, well, $6.49, but it's part of that same classics library and quite a bit thicker. Again, it has the beautiful illustrations on the cover. Look at that one, it's so pretty. And beautiful end pages. This one was actually dedicated to someone for Christmas. I don't know if it was the same person who brought them in, but it looks like it's just this different stories. It's got those really cool medieval looking illustrations in it. I've actually never read an actual adaptation of King Arthur. I know that there's La Morte de Arthur, and there's also The One True King. Once and Future King. There we go. The Once and Future King. I have the Once and Future King somewhere, I think. Maybe. I really love the story of King Arthur and like that lore, but I've never actually read King Arthur and his knights. So I was very excited to have this, and it's so chunky and so beautiful. It's like a hefty book. Like, I'm just like, oh, look at the red pages. I didn't even notice that on the top. Look at that. I wonder if the other one has that. This one's blue. Look at that. I didn't even notice that. Oh, and they fit so well together, and I can't wait to put them on my classic shelf together. So I'm gonna have to get some more of these editions to go together on my shelf because I like them. And last but certainly not least was another Goodwill find. I've been looking for this book for ages, and I don't know if I should start with this one or a different one. You'll have to tell me. If you've read this series, tell me which one should I start with, because I've been waiting to find out. The book that I found at Goodwill, which I've been looking for everywhere, is The First King of Shannara by Terry Brooks. This is the prelude to The Sword of Shannara, and I believe it was published / written, I'm not sure, after The Sword of Shannara. So it's not actually the first book, but it is a story that's like prior to that. I feel like it's The Hobbit for the Shannara series, and I don't know if I should read it first or if I should read The Sword of Shannara first. But because this one was only $3.29 at Goodwill, and I've been looking for it everywhere, and it was a hardcover, I had to pick it up. I just have to share with you, this book was $3.29, and I was like, oh, I have to pick it up. And so I was browsing through it. First of all, this has a beautiful map in the front cover. Like, look how pretty that is. And I have a feeling that's going to come in really handy when I'm reading the series, because I feel like it's going to be long and somewhat confusing. And then I come to find, as I'm continuing to flip through the book, it is signed by Terry Brooks in 1998. It is to Bob. I don't know who you are, Bob, but Terry Brooks wished you useful magic and keen might, insight, possibly. I'm not sure, but he signed the book. Look at that. Terry Brooks. And I am so excited to own this signed copy of The First King of Shannara, hardcover, and it looks like it was at some point like a library book, because it has that like papery cover on it, which I'll probably at some point take off. But, and this is also, so it is a signed first edition copy in perfect condition that I got for $3.29. I'm not sure if that is a big deal or not, but it is to me, because I don't really have that many first editions or that many signed copies, and I just had been looking for this book for so long. And then I found a signed first edition at Goodwill, and it's just beautiful. So this is an epic fantasy series. I don't really know anything else about it except for that they made the show off of it, and of course the show trailer intrigued me, but I can't watch the show until I read the book first, because I just need to read books first before I watch stuff. It's a problem. So if you have read the Shannara Chronicles, tell me where to start, because I need to know, should I start with this one, or should I wait and find the Sword of Shannara and start with that one, or even another one that I don't even know exists. I know there's a lot of books in this series, so please, if you've read this, let me know where to start. I'm very excited to read this eventually, though. So those are all the books that I amassed in the month of September. That's a lot of books. I don't know how I'm gonna find a place for all of these on my bookshelves. They're already so full. Why do I buy so many books? Why do you buy so many books, Jessica? Alright everyone, that is all for this haul video. I will see you with another video really, really soon. If you've read any of these books, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of them. No spoilers, please. And if you know where I should start with the Shannara Chronicles, please let me know, because I am at a loss. And I will eventually start it, but I need to know, what book should I start with? Let me know what you know down in the comments below, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!